Hello everyone, welcome to Watch While You Eat. Did you know the average person spends over 6 hours daily on their phone? This amounts to nearly a third of the day spent glued to a small screen, navigating social media, responding to endless notifications, or indulging in mobile games. While mobile phones have revolutionized communication, access to information, and productivity, this dependence comes with significant drawbacks. Phone addiction, often termed nomophobia, the fear of being without one's phone, is a growing global concern. Its effects extend beyond individual behavior, influencing mental and physical health, relationships, and even societal norms. This video explores the roots of phone addiction, its wide-ranging effects, and strategies to combat this pervasive issue. So, what is nomophobia? Nomophobia, or no mobile phone phobia, is the fear or anxiety of being without a mobile phone or out of mobile phone contact. The term was first coined in 2008 by the UK Post Office during a study that revealed some statistics. 53% of British mobile phone users reported feeling anxious when they lost their phone, ran out of battery or credit, or had no network coverage. They also found that men, 58%, were slightly more likely than women, 47%, to experience this anxiety. Psychological factors behind nomophobia. Certain personality traits and mental health conditions make some people more prone to nomophobia. Low self-esteem and extremes of either extroversion or introversion can increase vulnerability. Conditions like social anxiety, panic disorder, and general anxiety disorders can trigger nomophobic symptoms. People with a strong need to stay connected or negative self-perception are particularly at risk. How common is nomophobia? It's more widespread than you might think. A study conducted in 2013 shows that 64% of students are at risk of developing nomophobia. 23% of male students are already identified as nomophobic. On average, college students spend over 9 hours a day on their phones and check them more than 35 times daily. Negative impacts of nomophobia. Nomophobia doesn't just cause anxiety, it also has real effects on mental health and performance. Excessive phone use is linked to lower GPA among students, mainly because of constant distractions. The pressure to always stay connected to virtual networks adds stress and reduces much-needed downtime. A study in Brazil found that 68% of participants reported mobile phone dependency, with those suffering from panic disorders experiencing significantly higher emotional distress when they couldn't access their devices. How do you know if you have nomophobia? People experiencing nomophobia often share certain habits. They never switch off their phones. They feel secure only when their phone is nearby. They compulsively check for calls or messages, often for no specific reason. The bigger picture. Mobile phones are central to our lives today, but they come with a downside. Experts have even called them the biggest non-drug addiction of the 21st century. It's what they describe as a paradox of technology. It frees us from physical constraints while enslaving us to the virtual world. History of telephones. To truly understand the evolution of phone addiction, we must first explore the history of communication technology. By examining how phones have transformed over time, we can gain valuable insights into the habits and dependencies that have developed alongside them. Here's how the journey of phones has shaped our relationship with them. The telephone, introducing instant connectivity. When Alexander Graham Bell introduced the telephone in 1876, it transformed how people communicated. For the first time, conversations could occur in real time over long distances. This innovation planted the seed for instant communication as a societal expectation. Although early telephones were stationary and limited in use, they established the idea that technology could bridge time and space, making communication faster and more convenient. This marked the beginning of our reliance on devices to stay connected. Mobile phones, accessibility and ubiquity. By the 1990s, mobile phones became more affordable and widely available. No longer confined to professionals, they became everyday tools for communication. This shift made connectivity portable, allowing people to stay reachable anywhere and anytime. This constant accessibility subtly increased the pressure to respond immediately, laying the groundwork for today's always-on culture. Mobile phones also encouraged multitasking. Users could manage calls while traveling or working, which normalized dividing attention between multiple activities. Over time, this behavior evolved into constantly checking devices, even when unnecessary, setting the stage for compulsive habits. The smartphone era, a perfect storm for addiction. The launch of the iPhone in 2007 revolutionized mobile technology, combining communication tools, internet access, and multimedia capabilities in a single device. This innovation not only made phones indispensable but also turned them into platforms for entertainment, productivity, and social interaction. Smartphones introduced apps, social media, and games designed to maximize engagement. Features like notifications, infinite scrolling, and rewards triggered dopamine releases, creating a cycle of instant gratification. These design elements, paired with our growing dependence on phones for work, socializing, and leisure, fostered habits that mimic addiction. For instance, hyperconnectivity. Smartphones eliminated boundaries between work and personal life, creating a 24/7 connection that fosters stress and burnout. Social media pressure. Platforms encourage comparison and validation seeking through likes and comments, amplifying anxiety and compulsive checking behaviors. Entertainment at our fingertips. Easy access to games and streaming replaced offline hobbies, making phones the default choice for downtime. Let's talk deeper about social media and instant gratification. Platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter are designed to maximize engagement. They leverage features like infinite scrolling, notifications, and likes to trigger dopamine release, encouraging users to stay hooked. This design fuels addiction by creating cycles of instant gratification. Cultural shifts toward hyperconnectivity. Workplace expectations. The rise of messaging apps and email has fostered an always-on culture where personal and professional boundaries blur. Many feel compelled to stay connected, even outside work hours, to keep up with demands. FOMO, fear of missing out. Social media exacerbates FOMO, pressuring users to remain online to avoid missing trends, updates, or events. This psychological phenomenon further entrenches dependency. The impacts of phone addiction. Mental health challenges. Excessive phone use has been strongly linked to mental health issues like anxiety and depression. For instance, doom scrolling or consuming negative news content perpetuates anxiety and feelings of hopelessness. This habit exacerbates stress by keeping individuals in a state of heightened alertness as the brain constantly processes threats. Over time, this can lead to a chronic stress response characterized by fatigue, irritability, and difficulty concentrating. Disrupted sleep. The blue light from phones mimics daylight, tricking the brain into suppressing melatonin production, which is essential for sleep. This leads to difficulty falling asleep or staying asleep. Over time, chronic sleep deprivation increases the risk of mood disorders like depression and anxiety, as well as physical conditions such as heart disease and diabetes. Social media comparison. Social media fosters a highlight reel effect, where users share only the most polished aspects of their lives. This creates unrealistic standards and leads to feelings of inadequacy, especially in teenagers and young adults. The constant exposure to idealized lifestyles can erode self-esteem and even contribute to body dysmorphia. Physical health concerns. Phone addiction also has physical repercussions. Tech neck. Spending hours hunched over a phone creates unnatural pressure on the neck and upper spine. Research shows that tilting the head forward by even 15 degrees increases the weight the neck must support by 27 pounds, potentially causing chronic pain and postural issues over time. Texting thumb. Repetitive motions, like typing on a phone keyboard, strain the tendons in the thumb, leading to a condition known as de Quervain's tenosynovitis. This condition can result in pain, swelling, and reduced mobility, often requiring physical therapy or even surgery in severe cases. Digital eye strain. Also known as computer vision syndrome, symptoms include dry eyes, blurred vision, and headaches. Prolonged screen exposure causes the eye muscles to become overworked and fatigued, as people tend to blink 60% less when staring at screens, which reduces tear production. Strained relationships. While phones connect us globally, they often disconnect us locally. Phubbing, phone snubbing, describes ignoring loved ones in favor of mobile devices, leading to reduced intimacy and emotional distance in relationships. A study found that 46% of people in relationships report feeling unimportant when their partner checks their phone mid-conversation. Over time, this behavior fosters resentment and feelings of being undervalued. A survey of university students found that friends often feel less interesting or undervalued when the other person is focused on their phone during social outings. This has contributed to declining friendship quality over time. The road to recovery: combating phone addiction. With the rise of smartphones, many of us have developed habits that keep us glued to our screens, often at the expense of our mental health, relationships, and productivity. But breaking free from phone addiction doesn't have to be overwhelming. By making small, intentional changes, you can regain control and build healthier habits. Set screen time limits. Start by using tools like Screen Time on iPhones or Digital Wellbeing on Android devices. These features let you monitor your phone usage and set daily limits to help cut back on excessive scrolling. Tracking your habits is the first step toward meaningful change. Create phone-free zones. Designate areas in your home, like the bedroom or dining table, as phone-free zones. These spaces encourage better communication with loved ones, reduce distractions, and create opportunities for meaningful connection. Rediscover offline activities. Replace screen time with fulfilling offline hobbies. Try exercising, reading, cooking, or picking up a new craft. Spending time outdoors is particularly effective. It not only helps you unplug but also enhances your mood and reduces the urge to check your device. Conclusion: phones are indispensable tools in our modern world, offering unparalleled convenience, connectivity, and access to information. However, over-reliance can lead to severe consequences for mental health, relationships, productivity, and the environment. By setting boundaries, fostering offline connections, and leveraging mindfulness, we can reclaim balance in our lives. The journey to breaking free from phone addiction is not about abandoning technology but about regaining control over its influence. It's time to reconnect with ourselves, with loved ones, and with the vibrant world beyond the screen. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.